Hello, hello. This is Gerald Salenti. It's Thursday, February 25th, 2021. And here are some of today's trends in the news on the market front. Not a good day over there in Asia and Europe. Hey, how about the Dow today? Down over 500 points. Whew. NASDAQ getting lower, but hey, this is the headline from today's Wall Street Journal. Yesterday's markets. Stock markets set records, signaling optimism for 2021. You know what that is, don't you? Yep, you got it. Again, it's all in your Trends Journal. We have this detailed out, and Gregory Mannarino is really nailing where this thing's going as well. And it's going down. There's no question about it. They're going to do everything, of course, they can prop it up. This is yesterday's. Markets are signaling that the economy that plunged into its deepest recession in decades a year ago is ready to take off. Let's get this straight. The economy plunged into its deepest recession in decades a year ago, and the markets, since the Federal Reserve, the dirty, filthy, slimy banksters, pumped in all this cheap money, the markets have been going up. So now the markets are going to go up because it's all here because of the vaccinations. Everybody's going to get vaccinated, happy, and everything's going to get higher. Let's get this straight. The markets went up in one of the worst recessions in America's modern history. You don't think it's rigged? Weekly jobless claims dropped sharply. Oh, wow. Where did they drop to? Oh, the only unemployment first-time filings, only 730,000. Yeah, but it was lower than the 845,000 that they estimated. Last week's they lowered it down 821,000. I mean, the numbers are, let's see, over 1 million more claims on pandemic emergency program. That's happened. Total, there are 19 million Americans receiving some compensation. Again, the thing is artificially propped up, and they're going to keep artificially propping it up because this is from today's Wall Street Journal as well. Fed chief vows support for labor market.
Bullshit.
Yeah, not support for labor market, support to artificially prop up the economy, promising to keep interest rates low so the big gamblers could keep gambling. Again, when I was a young man, there was no such thing as hedge funds, private equity groups, and all this kind of criminal activity going on that's putting all the money, the wealth in the hands of the few. By the way, class warfare, youth revolution going on around the world. We're detailing it in the Trends Journal. What was last week's, about 100, this week's that just went out? Another brilliant cover by Anthony Frieda, World War Vax. It's about 146 pages about what's going on economically, geopolitically, social, environmental, on and on and on. So we're nailing all this and where the markets are going and what's going to happen. Gold took a big hit. Gold's going down because yields and bonds are going up and people are safer in investing those. But silver is still solid. And, could they artificially push down gold? Absolutely. They've done it before. However, I believe there's going to be inflation. A number of people are saying yes and a number of people saying no. But when you look at the prices, and again, we have them in the magazine, lumber, copper, on and on and on, they're going up. Oh, by the way, you like this. When the cost of a house goes up and housing prices rose like the last a month or quarter, like 10%. But they don't count that as inflation. Increased housing prices are not inflation. Inflation numbers are rigged. For the real numbers, I go to Shadow Stats. John Williams. Biden advisor sees gradual recovery. Oh, if he says so. Jared Bernstein. It's a dimmer switch, not an on-off switch. What kind of language is that? Political crap language. That's what it is. British pound climbs to highest levels since 2008. So why is the pound going up when last year the UK economy recorded its biggest contraction in more than 300 years? And the pound is up? The whole thing is rigged. 3 centuries. India's stock market mania. Here you go. Signs of speculation are rife in global markets right now, but India stands out. India's benchmark stock index is up 22% since the beginning of 2020. India. Yep. You got their PE ratio about 24. You're looking at a country that was in decline before this happened. They registered a negative GDP. I think it was like something 22% last year, one of the quarters last year. Before this happened, before the COVID war began in 2019, they had clocked off 7 consecutive quarters of declining gross domestic product. The markets are rigged. All they're enriching are the rich. Housing market feels rise in rates. They have markets pressure from rising rates. Refinancing activity fell 11.6%. Purchases, fell 11.6%. Refinancing fell 11.3%. The housing is going to keep going as long as interest rates stay low, temporarily. And what else do we have here? Airbnb reports $3.8 billion loss in first quarterly report since IPO. Down 22% year over year. Airbnb counted 46.3 million, in the fourth quarter, 43 million nights and experiences booked in the fourth quarter, down 39% year over year. Gross bookings were down 31% year over year. Gross booking value was down more than 26%. Now, how about all those people that make money from Airbnb? What about them? How about the hit that they're taking? And then all the places around the world, like the Italians. As an Italian, I'm ashamed of the Italians that they dragged in that Draghi, the bankster gangster, formerly with the Goldman Sachs gang, World Trade Organization, European Central Bank president, brought them negative zero interest rate policy, quantitative easing, which is another word for buying up corporate bonds and artificially propping up the market. So they can't go skiing in the Italian Alps over there. So all the people, all of the tourism gone. Airbnb, yeah, how about FU B&B? Clinical-test firm signed $12 billion deal. I mentioned this. Clinical-trial operator Icon PLC said it would acquire rival PRA Health Sciences for $12 billion. I'm mentioning this because the merger and acquisitions keep going on because of the cheap money, and the bigs get bigger, and all we are the plantation workers of Slavelandia. Got it? Good news. Good news. Frozen food sales up 21% in 2020. Frozen food aisles have been a growth driver for retailers, with acceleration ahead of most departments, said the president of this American Frozen Food Institute. Frozen foods are a pandemic powerhouse, ringing in 65 points. Look at the crap that people are eating. Frozen junk. More ice cream? Nothing like natural frozen food. What are you kidding me? Again, they never mention a word, the prostitutes in the media, about getting healthy to beat the virus. And nobody ever dies, by the way, or nobody ever gets sick. Now you get a cold, you're freaking out. I didn't get a cold this year. You just get one every year. Because that's all they do is a freak out game. Look at this big story in the toilet paper record. By the way, you see all this red underlining? That's what we do when you read the Trends Journal, we pick out the salient points of stories. We don't say what they're saying. We pick out the data. Variant surges in California. Whoa! COVID cases fall, but scientists warn against relaxing too early. That's in the Financial Times today. So keep freaking out. Keep freaking out. Wear your masks. Wear your masks. Number of new cases, toilet paper record, at 4-month low. Hospitalizations are down 30%. Huh. Could it be because of the vaccinations? No, because you know why? COVID Live update, CNBC. 20 million Americans are fully vaccinated. So that leaves 312 million that aren't. Again, by the data, we report it in word after word, sentence after sentence, paragraph after paragraph. The people that are dying from the virus have 2.6 pre-existing comorbidities, mostly the elderly. Canada's 80% from nursing homes. Yeah, the numbers are going down because it's not the big killer they say it is, but they're freaking you out. There's a variant that's going to get you. We're going to get you a new vaccine for that one, too. And speaking of which, Indonesia moves to punish citizens who refuse to COVID vaccination. This is a Reuters report. Deputy Jakarta Governor Ahmed Riza Patria said city authorities. How about a bunch of crapheads? How about arrogant little scum authorities? Screw this authority crap. I'm tired of hearing this. Authorities, dignitaries, officials. Official pieces of shit is threatening residents with fines up to $360, 5 million rupiah, to anyone refusing a jab. New cases have actually inched higher in Indonesia over the past week, while most of the world's in decline. Indonesia, ready? Indonesia is a country of 275,395,000 people. 275 million people. 34,000 deaths over a year. And they're doing this to people, making them get vaccinated. 240,000, I looked this up before I went on the air. 240,000 die of air pollution. According to UNICEF, diarrhea caused by untreated drinking water contributed to the death of 31% of children between the ages of 1 month and a year. 25% of children between a year to 4 years old. Indonesia is the 5th largest tobacco market in the world. Every year, more than 200,000 people die from tobacco-caused diseases. And it goes on. And how many people died? 34,000. And you got some authority, some little shithead, some scumbag telling you that you're going to get fined for not getting the vaccination. Hey, and speaking of lowlives, Israel's parliament passed a law Wednesday allowing the government to share the identities of people not vaccinated against the coronavirus with other authorities. They use this word, authorities. Grow the hell up, you stupid prostitutes. They're not authorities. They're power-hungry scum freaks who never work a day in their life that suck off the public tit. Got it? The objective of the measure is, quote, to enable these bodies to encourage people to vaccine by personally addressing them, a parliament statement said. Parliament. How a bunch of low-life freaks. Parliament. Oh, Parliament cigarettes. I remember when I was a kid. Parliament. Encouraging people to be vaccinated. Quote, this is this guy, Katz. What was Katz? Katz and Mouse. What was the Katz here? Netanyahu denying. Hyman Katz, Netanyahu's Likud party, defended the law as a means to promote vaccination. Quote, I've been asked, what about people's privacy? Is privacy more important than life itself? He said. Hey, cats or dog, if everybody's vaccinated, the people that are vaccinated are safe. So why do you leave the people that don't want to get vaccinated to decide their own life? As I said, the Ashkenazis, that's who's in charge of the governments. They have been since they created Israel. They're Eastern Europeans, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. They converted into Judaism like 700 AD. Ashkenazis, we wrote in the Trends Journal in this current issue about the World War vax, how you have to get a green pass, that you're not able to go to places without the vaccination. All right? Ashkenazi, boy, Hitler would have liked that one. Now you got to tell them Parliament passed a law yesterday allowing the government to share identities of people who have not vaccinated. Oh, and then you get a green pass, and that allows you to go to restaurants and other places. Oh, yeah. Ashkenazi. Again, I talk about Italy, what scum they are. Again, and I'm Italian. So there's nothing to do with race, creed, color, religions, or anything. Good and bad comes in all of them. So save the anti-Semitic stuff, shove it. And they're not Semites, all right? Semites are people from Mesopotamia. Ashkenazis are not Semites, so take it easy. UK health authorities announced not a single case of flu detected this year. We're going to write more about that. Just disappeared. Pandemic loneliness is hitting young adults especially hard. This is just out of the 61% of young people 18 to 25 reported serious loneliness in the prior month. And then you know who my favorite is in New York. New York, the daddy's boy, born on third base, Mr. Nipple Rings. Yeah, Nipple Rings Cuomo, that guy. It's now getting the pressure for being who he is. And I was the first one to call him out, unquestionably. And now they're all calling him out. All the media that's sucked down to him. Cuomo accused of sexual harassment by former aide. It was today's Wall Street Journal. The former advisor to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo on Wednesday accused him of sexually harassing her while she worked for the state, saying that he kissed her on the lips after a meeting and suggested they play strip poker. Where's Me Too? What do you got, lockjaw Me Too? Oh, you like Cuomo, huh? And what else do we have here? Faulty intelligence cited for ill-prepared Capitol security. Faulty intelligence is all they've ever had. And here's another one. CIA choice vows to focus on China. Faulty intelligence. That's all they are. They're not intelligence. To call them intelligent agencies is an oxymoron. And then 38% of Americans would give up sex for a year just to travel again. This is from CNBC, just now came out. Desperate vacationers said they would be willing to give up love, sex, or money in exchange for a trip, according to Trivago. More than 80% of those polled. Yes, sex. Look who we got as the health secretary. How do you anybody want sex? I mean, sex is dead in America. Look at the place looks like. Maybe a Lola, Lola, sex. Wonder why people don't want to say this is what America is, man. The identity of America. Look what it's become. And we're 42% obese, 40% obese, 72% overweight. I guess sex isn't big on a scale. But I want to make this very clear. Everyone listening, my feelings about these things, my book, What Ziggy Gave Honey Boy, a true story about love, wisdom, and the soul of America. Zizzy's a Neapolitan dialect for auntie. Z is aunt. Zitzy is your auntie. There I am with Teresa McKelvey in our first communion, dressed up. She's holding my hand tight. In love, in love. No more sex, dead in America. I'd rather travel. And then finally, New Delhi unveils blueprint for social media crackdown. They're cracking down on the farmers, taking over the social media. So I guess they're really taking in what America sells all the time. Freedom and democracy. Just as they rob us of our rights, the geeks in charge of inheriting the earth. The King James Bible got it wrong. It's not the meek shall inherit the earth. The geeks have inherited the earth, just like they're censoring and how America overthrows countries and kills millions of people in the name of bringing freedom and democracy. Yeah, they're picking up from America. Censorship in India. Yeah, the American way. This is Gerald Celente. That's some of today's trends in the news. And remember, subscribe to the Trends Journal, the only magazine in the world that tells you what's going on, what it means, what's next. We bring you the future. It's history before it happens. And there's no better time to plan than now to prevail, prepare, and prosper, because there's a rocky road ahead. Thank you. The COVID-19 war has changed the world, but who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens from the world leader in trend forecasting.